Hello everyone, I want to welcome you all on the behalf of Ludhiana College of Engineering and Technology. Today we are going to start with the Python control flow statements. We'll see what all type of control flow statements are there in case of Python and how these control flow statements can be practically implemented. So first of all, if I'm talking about the control flow statements, the first statements that are there, they are the decision making statements. Sometimes it happens like we have to decide which block of code should be run. Suppose it happens with us, like if we have to find out whether out of two which number is greater. Suppose we have two numbers, a is 10, b is 20, and I just simply want to check a is greater or b is greater. If a is greater, I'll simply print that a is greater, and if b is greater, then I'll simply print that b is greater. So for such kind of decision making, these kind of statements can be used. We have different kind of decision making statements that are there in case of Python. First of all, we have is if, then we have is if else statement, then we have is nested if, then we have is if else if. So we'll try to implement all of these statements one by one. So let's quickly start with the same. So let me open my IDE. So let's say now I have a number like a is equals to 10 and I have another number like b is equals to 20. Now next what I just simply want to check a is greater or b. Means I'm simply want to check a is greater than b or not. Here you have to use this colon, because when you add this colon and press enter, you can see there will be indentation automatically. Okay, so in case of Python you don't have to add the curly braces and all, only just by typing this particular colon, and as you press enter you can clearly see the indentation would be automatically there in case of your Doni IDE. So let's say I just want to print if a is greater than b. I simply want to print a is greater. Okay, so here I want to print a string. So as we did previously, so if you want to print something as such, you have to write that in quotations only. So here I want to print a is greater. So I'll save this and let me give this the name as conditional operator. Or let's say we'll give it the name as decision.py. So here my program is being saved. Now when I'll execute it, you can see no output is there. Why no output is there? Because this condition is not true. This is one of the limitation of your simple if. Like if the condition is satisfied, suppose this situation would be satisfied, then you will get the output, otherwise you will not get anything. So in order to overcome this problem, they have introduced one more statement, that is if and else. Now what does it mean? It means if this condition is true, perform this. If this condition is not true, perform the else part. So means if a will not be greater, what will happen? B would be greater, right? So it will show b is greater. Wait, there is some spelling mistake. So b is greater. I'll simply save it, and when I'll execute it, so let me see what is the issue. Yes, the problem is with the indentation. I have to make sure regarding the indentation. Now you can see it's fine now, because else is not the part of this if, but yes, this else was the you can say if this condition would be true, only then this would run. But previously that I have the work that I have done, I haven't make sure whether the my indentation is correct or not. But now as the indentation is correct, you can see my program is running successfully. Okay, so this is our second statement. Now third we have is our if else if. Now what is the purpose of using our if else if? Suppose we have two conditions. Now here if I'm looking, only one condition is there. Sometimes it happens like more than one condition could be there, right? So in that case we can use if else if. Suppose there are chances like this number is also 10, so neither this nor this, both are not correct. So what we need to do, we need to add one more condition. So for that we can use elif. Elif says, elif means, elif is the combination of the else and if. So this else could be the part of anyone, okay? So here I'm just simply checking else if the number I have means A is equals to B, then what should it do? Then it should print both are equal. Okay, so this is the third condition that I want. I'll simply save it, and when I try to execute it, you can see it is clearly showing me that both are equal. Yes, we can see that both are equal. Okay, so this is the purpose of the same. One more way is there. Suppose you don't want to use this else if, you simply want to use the nested if. One we have is nested if. Nested if means if within the if statements. Means there is a if condition, I'm using one more if in the same condition. By using that condition, I'm simply checking whether my A is greater than B or not and something. Here I'm just simply checking whether A is equals to B or not. So as I'll press enter, I'll simply print over here both are equal. Okay. Else I simply want to print A is greater. Okay. Here I'm simply checking A is greater than equals to B or not. If this happens, then we'll check whether A is equals to B or not. If so, it will print both are equal, otherwise it will print A is greater. So we'll save it, we'll execute it. Yes, there is again a problem, like this else is again a part of it. So this was the issue in the same, the indentation problem. So you can see it says both are equal. Now let me change the value, then try to execute it. Now you can see A is greater. Now suppose this is 70, I'll save it. When I'll try to run the program, you can see it is showing me the correct result, that B is greater. So these are the three decision making statements that are available in case of your Python. So hope these statements are clear to you, and next we'll move on to the other statements. They are the looping statements. So if I'm talking about your particular Python, we have for loop, we have while loop, and one more thing, we have for loop with the help of two things. One is the simple for loop, another one is with the help of range function. So before starting with the for loop, we'll study what actually a range function is and how we can use the range function. So just have a quick look on the same. So suppose we have a range function. What this range function will do, it will simply print out whatever the range of something is. Suppose I have a method, suppose I want to print something, I just want to print the range of 10. Okay, I'll simply save it. Let's say I'm giving the name as range1.py. So as I'll save it, when I execute it, it will show me, yes, the range of this particular thing is from 0 to 10. Means whatever the elements will be there, their range will be from 0 to 9 and so on. Suppose now you want to print all those elements. So how you can do that? You will simply say print, then you will type list, then we want to see the range of 10. So I'll save it. As I'll execute it, you can see it will print all the numbers from 0 to 9. Now suppose what I want to specify the starting number and the last one as well. So how can I do that? I'll simply use the list, then I use the method which is range, and in this range method I'll simply specify, let's say I want to print the number from 4 to 300. Okay, I'll simply save it. When I'll execute it, you can see it will print all the numbers from, yes, we can expand the shell. You can see now it is printing the number up to 299. It starts from 4, and it's up to 299. Okay, so this is the way. Now let's say I want to change the step size. Now what is the meaning of step size? See, here the difference is of 1. Now I want the difference between two numbers should be of 5 or 10. So how can I do that? I'll simply use, first of all, let me copy this. So you can see 4. I want the starting number should be 0, the ending number should be 300, and the difference between all the numbers should be, let's say I'm giving the, wait, so let's say the difference between all these numbers should be 50. Okay, so when I'll execute it, you can see it's from 0, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, and so on. It will not print 300 because it will print the number lesser than 300. So this is being printed. You can even decrease or increase the step size. So if you decrease the step size, this would be the answer. So if you increase the step size, the answer would be changed. So this is the simple way to do this thing. Hope this thing is clear to you. And next what we are going to do, after this we'll be starting with the for loop, how we can use the for loop and what actually a for loop in case of your Python. So let's start with the same. So suppose currently I'm removing it. So let's say we have some value or some number. Suppose I have a number, and let's say this number is from number is 1 or 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on. I just simply want whatever this number is, I just want to add all of these numbers one by one. Means I'll first of all add this number into this number, then whatever the result is, I want this number to be added in that. So for that we can use it with the help of for loop as well. One way is simply add them one by one and just printing the result. That would be quite difficult for us. So the best way is do it with the help of for loop. So how this for loop will work, I'll simply type 4, then I'll choose a variable which will be work as the index of the elements in this particular variable. So for then I am simply choosing the variable as I. Then I'll say in. Now I have to specify this particular number. Means this particular statement means for the index of these elements in this particular variable, what you have to do. Now we'll tell what should be done if this is being done. So I'll simply specify here the one more value. Let's say I'm giving the value of sum as 0 now. So I simply want if there are elements that are present in case of this, I just want whatever the value of my, let's say I'm taking over here add. So whatever the value of add is, simply add plus whatever the current element is. Okay, so whatever the current element is, just add the value of that as well. Okay, after that just simply print whatever the value of add is. So I'll save it. So as I'll execute it, you can see it shows me the result. First of all 1 is printed, then 1 plus 3, then 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 3 is then 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, and so on. It shows me result in 8. Okay, this is one of the way to run the for loop. Now I have as I have already told you, we can use the for loop with the help of your else statement. So what is the how we can use that and what is the purpose of the same? Suppose you want to use the for loop with the else statement, that what that will do, suppose your elements are finished, all the elements that are present in this particular variable, suppose they are finished. Now when they are finished, what should be done? So that you can mention in the else statement. So simply I'll print over here. Okay, there's some mistake, so I'll simply print over here, elements are finished. Okay, so we'll save it, we'll execute it. So after all the execution, it says elements are finished. So this is the purpose of your else statement in case of your Python. Now similarly we have is a while statement. So if we are using the while, how this while will work? So if you want to work with the while statement, suppose these are the number, I want to work with the same. The only difference over here will be, okay, the only difference over here will be, here I have to specify, here I have to declare the value of I beforehand, because in for loop you can instantiate a variable on the spot, but if you are using the while loop, you have to declare the value beforehand. Okay, then let's say we have the while statement. So while I just want to check, let's say here we have the number as 10. I just simply want, while the value of I is less than or equals to n, okay, what it should do, it should simply add the value of I, add 1 in the value of I, and whatever the value of I it should be added to the add variable. So let's just have a look onto the same. So I just simply want whatever the value of add is, the I should be added to that. The next thing I want is, I want the value of I should be incremented by 1 after every step. Okay, and at the end I just simply want to print the value of whatever my add is. Okay, I'll save it, then I'll execute it. It says, let's see the problem. It says while I is less than equals to n, name n is not defined over here, because yes, I have used NUM over here. I'll save it and I'll execute it. You can see it is currently showing me 0, 0 and so on, because here I haven't changed the value of add to add plus add. So I'll execute it. Now you can see it's working fine. Okay, I can add more than 10 elements. Suppose I want to add 20 elements, I simply do that, then I'll execute it. You can see it is showing me the result of the same, and else, the purpose of else is again the same as it was in the for loop. So hope this is also clear to you, and now we are only left with the using of for loop with the help of your range method. So how we can use the for with the help of range? So just have a quick look. Let's say we have some courses, okay, and let's suppose the value of courses BCA, then we have is MCA, and we have is BSc. Okay, suppose these are the courses. Now I want to print all of these courses one by one using range. So how can I do that? I'll simply say for I in, but here instead of writing the name of variable, I'll say range, and then I'll use a method whose name is len, and then I'll simply type the name of the whatever the name of my particular variable is. So here in this case the name of my variable is course. Okay, so this I'll do, and then I'll simply write down this thing. After this I just simply want to print, I want to do, so here let's say I want to print the name of whatever my course is, that too one by one. I'll save the same, I'll execute the same. So you can see it shows me I want to do BCA, then I want to do MCA, BSc, and so on. Let's say again at the end you want to print that I don't want to do anything. Okay, so else I'll simply print anything. I don't want to do anything. So I'll save it. Then as I'll execute it, first of all it will print all the elements whatever are there in the particular variable, and then when these elements are finished it will simply print I don't want to do anything. So this is the simple way to do all the for loop with the range and for loop with the help of your simple method. Okay, so these are the two ways we have done the for loop. We have done the while loop, we have done if else statement, we have done nested if. Now we will continue with your two statements. One is your continue and another one is your break statement. Now how these two will work. Okay, so let's continue with your break and continue statement. So we'll quickly start with the break statement. So let's say we have a for loop and I'm simply checking for while in, suppose I want to check it in hi, I'm from Ludhiana, where are you from? Suppose this is my string, and in this string I simply want to check if the value becomes equals to my simply capital L, then what should it do? First of all it should encounter break. Okay, and after encountering the break statement it should print whatever the value is. Okay, so I'll save it. So as I'll try to execute it, you can see it simply prints hi, I'm from, and so in this break statement it will just print up to this point. As it will encounter this particular statement it will stop over there. Now next we have is continue statement. The difference between both the statement is that if instead of break here continue will encounter, so what will happen, if your continue will encounter over here, then this will continue will only skip this capital L, rest all of the string will be printed. Okay, let's see. So if I continue, so as I'll save it, you can see. So first of all the continue would be there. So as I'll save it, you can see. So continue is there, we will save it. As we'll execute it, this is the problem. I'll save it. So as I'll execute it, so you can see it will only left L, rest everything would be printed. Okay, so it skips L and rest everything is printed. So this is the basic your continue and break statement. One more statement is there. Suppose you want to use for loop, but currently you don't know what all should be the body of that for loop. So if you leave that as such, suppose you didn't give this body and try to execute it, it will give you the error like end of file parsing, but it doesn't get anything. So in this case what you can do for current for the timing, you can simply use here pass statement. This pass will for the timing, what it will do, it will if you leave this for statement as such, it will not give you any error. So you can see it is not now giving me any error, it's working fine. So this is the third control statement that you can use